Selamlar. Bugünkü konuğum Hollanda'dan bütün Türkiye'de çok da fazla takipçisi olan Michaël van der Poppe. Hi Michael.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Am I calling you Michael or Michaël? How do you want me to call you?
What's easy for you?
Michael is easy for me.
Okay, let's go with that.
But can I hear it from you? Your
Michaël.
full name? Michaël.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be difficult for me to say that. So.
It's okay.
So you've been in Turkey for 2 days now?
This is the third day, yeah.
Third day, right?
Yeah.
How are you finding it? How's the community? How is it treated? How was the blockchain summit? Your speech? What was the reactions? Let's talk about you a little bit.
I mean, Istanbul is massive, man. Like we are living in the Netherlands, so going from here to another place, it takes so long for us. But I like Istanbul. I like the summit. It's the first event I'm doing in a year. First time speaking abroad, so I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the community. I mean, the Turkish community is large.
Yeah.
And they are like very open, and they want to talk to you. So it's I like it here in Istanbul.
How did you first get into did you know about the Turkish community, or was it the followers that made you think about, oh, that's a big community, and the engagement they give and everything? They're very interested in like a global, like we're like Turkish influencers. Globally, we're not well known, but the global influencers, like from other countries, are well known in Turkey. So is that the same in like Holland?
Well, I mean,
do you guys follow foreigners as well? Like
we do, yeah. But I think we don't have such a huge community as we have in Turkey. So, for instance, you've got a large following here. In the Netherlands, there are only a few accounts, and that's it. So most of them can read and listen to English, so they easily swap towards someone that's just
foreign. But you tweet all in English, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're actually for the global market. Your tweets are for the global market. And talking of which, how did you get into the whole crypto game? And how did it make you get old in a few years?
Man, I've just turned 30, and I've got grey hair as well. So
no, you don't look older than 30. you look your age. So.
I mean, if you talk about it, I'm in crypto since 2017, which is like 6 years.
Yeah.
3 cycles. It feels like a long time, but it's only 6 years.
It's like that meme, isn't it? It's like one day in crypto, it's like 7 years.
It is actually.
In the real world.
I've got into crypto through my best friend.
Okay.
And it was in January 2017 when we were drinking beers, and he showed me CoinMarketCap. And back in the day, you had alt season.
Yeah.
So all the altcoins were doing really well. And he said, this is something you probably are going to like. So I was checking it, and the exact same day I started buying my first crypto.
Which was your first crypto?
Digibyte.
Who?
Digibyte.
Okay.
Yeah. If you Google it, you can see a peak during April 2017 or somewhere there. And my mom said, during the peak, just sell it. Never done it, and it went down all the way. I still remember that.
That's the experience, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens. So you went into. Did you start trading instantly, or did you actually educate yourself a little, or did you like look into it before you started doing your first trading? And also, was your first trading margin trading, or was it just like straight, spot trading?
I usually trade spot.
Okay.
I don't like margin trading because I get stressed out. So. Like yourself, I'm building a company, which means that if I'm trading, I want to do it on a relaxed way. So if I'm going to do leverage trading, I need to stay focused.
Yeah.
I can't do all the things. If I'm going to grocery shopping or whatever, I'm still watching the charts in the supermarket.
Yeah.
So I can't relax. So almost all of my trading is spot trading. And when I started, it just went hand in hand. If I like something, I go like insane with it. So I started reading about Bitcoin, I started reading about Ethereum, I started reading about trading, and it just went so fast. I mean, the first time I bought my crypto was January 2017. Bitcoin was beneath 1K.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. If you bought then and just held it, you didn't need to do any of this.
I was going back into my trades from 2017.
Okay.
It's so painful.
Yeah.
But so, and then I started reading about it, and I started my social media account in October 2017 or so, and it just accelerated. It boomed quite fast.
Because you tweeted in English, and then and did you use hashtags and everything, so people actually saw what you were you sharing graphics? So how were you communicating with your followers?
Mostly TA. So
Okay.
I'm just sharing charts and then using the dollar tags.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Of the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the ticker you use on Twitter. So I usually tweet those things, and I started back in the day, and also I learned and progressed over time. If I go back on the charts like 6 years ago, it's so newbie.
So this is the vital question, because in Turkey there's so many traders which trade like gambling. Like, you know, we were talking in the office earlier today. It's like they look at it as a way out in the economical crisis.
Yep.
So they have, let's say, 10,000 lira, they put it all in, and they do you know, leverage on it and everything, so, and they lose their money, and then they start saying this is a really bad industry, this is bad, this is take your money. It's actually not. Correct. If you know what you're doing, if you know, educate yourself in the field, then you can actually make money in this, and you're one of the examples. So when you first started trading, did you actually do the technical analysis first and learn that, then trade, or did you start trading and on the way you learned about this as well?
I mean, nobody knows what they are doing.
Yeah.
It's just, in the end, it's just simply guessing.
Yeah.
So I started learning TA, or at least I thought I did, but if you go along your journey, experience is the biggest lesson you can have.
Yeah.
So I started with like 15 indicators. And then I found out, okay, it's just all simply noise. You have to make things simple.
Yeah.
So I think learning TA is the basics, but if you go further down the road when it comes to trading, you realize that evaluating yourself, understanding who you are as a person, makes you a better trader, because it's all mindset in the end.
Yeah, true. And the psychology of it as well.
Yeah.
You have to have a clear mind to do trading, because if you've got lots of worries in your head and that, you shouldn't trade that day, basically.
Exactly.
So when you trade, do you look at what times are you looking at? Do you do a 1 hour? Do you do like scalping at all? Or
yeah, I scalped Peppe
swim?
the past weeks.
Yeah. Did you make money out of that?
Yeah, I did.
From
but
Peppe?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
quite organic, so I can trade it. But it's not, if you're scalping, then there are not many occasions to actually trade, because crypto markets can be quite dead at sometimes, especially during bear markets. And leverage trading is making those very weird moves, so it's quite hard to trade on them. Peppe was actually quite clean.
Yeah, but then there's no mature graphic there. So you just actually, you just throw the, you know, some money in that you can spend basically and wish for it to go up, because that's where you cannot do much technical analysis, right? Because it just came out, it's new.
The thing is that if you use, exactly, it's new, so you don't have historical price action. But if you use a certain strategy, the strategy usually works on every time frame.
Okay. What is your strategy?
It's just mostly just levels.
Okay.
Price action based on levels.
Okay.
Liquidity grabs, all those things.
Yeah.
Maybe too complex, but that's what I use. And if you use that on Bitcoin, you've got more historical price action. So it's easier to use it. But the higher time frame you go, the more important it is. With Peppe, you don't have that all, but still the 1 hour or 4 hour can give you the exact same
it
patterns.
can indicate the way it's going, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you also got, in that small cycle, you've got a psychology.
Yeah.
So during the peak, all of a sudden, social media is all over Peppe.
Yeah. And then there's the FOMO.
And FK Peppe and Boyak and all those other meme coins. That's when you know that the top is going to be close. And when the top is in, you can still play the game with the trades and short and long, whatever you want.
Do you use stop loss in your trades?
Yeah, those scalps I do.
Yeah.
You have to, especially if you trade Peppe.
Of course, but where do you put your stop? Like, do you have a margin? Like, do you say, right, I'm going to enter this and I'm going to put a 10% stop loss, for example? Or do you have a percentage in your mind? Or does it go along the way? You say, okay, you look at the graphic and you say, this is where I want to put my stop, because I think it's going to go up and I don't want to get stop loss straight away either.
I think if you open a position, there's a certain invalidation point.
Yeah.
And if you open a position as a short into resistance, then you don't want the price to go above a certain point, because then the liquidity will just take over and it's shooting away.
Yeah.
So if you have a trade and your stop loss is then at 4%, you have to calculate how big your position will be.
Yeah.
So I think most people are just doing that wrong.
Yeah.
So what I do, I want to risk 1% per trade, or 1% of my portfolio per trade.
Yeah.
And then if the stop loss is wider, I'll just adjust my size.
You adjust as it goes up, or if you're short, as it goes low, you adjust the
and when it starts to drop, I just make it go to break even quite fast. So I'm just chilling out.
Cool. So it's a winner chicken dinner at the end. It's
always the same. Not all the times.
Talking of which, we need to I'm trying to enlighten my followers as well about the trading. To do trading, you have to obviously have a clear mindset. You have to be educated in the field you're trading, right? Yeah. And what is we were talking about big, leverage margin trading and that. What would you suggest the Turkish traders, or the ones who want to become a trader, a full-time trader, or if someone has a 9-to-5 job anyway, how do you suggest them to trade?
That's a broad question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the essential part is that you mentioned it earlier, that people are going into an exchange and they trade leverage. Why do they do that? Because they are feared for their own currency and they want to keep their lifestyle forward. So the lira is crashing, and that puts people into a very short-term action-based behavior. Yeah. And that's when mistakes are made. So what people should be doing if they want to invest in crypto, have a long-term view, how difficult it could be. And when it comes to leverage trading, I think what I mentioned is that you can use leverage, but you need to know how. Yeah. So if you... That's
the problem, Michael.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's when exchanges need to provide you the actual tools. They need to be protected.
So are you actually, are you finding a fault in the exchanges by stating this? Do you think the exchanges should have a sort of a back check on people who's doing margin trading, or do you think they should just open up to a certain amount of leverage? How do you think this would be fixed? Because we know, I have to talk about this because this is important. I work with an exchange as well. Yeah. So people, hard-earned money, they want to make more money. Like you mentioned earlier, the Turkish lira is not in a good situation, so they want to keep their money and they want to make more money. Then they see all these people making money, but they don't know that all the money, the people they see on Twitter or whatever, make is the money coming from you because you don't know how to trade. Correct. Right? So the first thing you would suggest them is to know what they're doing, right?
First thing I would suggest is just to avoid leverage in the beginning. Yeah. I think what you see in social media is usually fake, but that's not crypto only. Yeah. That's with everything. Yeah. And what you see on social media with the traders showing off their cars and stuff, that's because they've made money out of affiliates, and that's not because they're a great trader. Oh, so all the references, affiliates, all the money they make from that's how they buy the cars and houses and exactly.
That. It's not from trading.
No,
that's a statement.
It's not.
That's an important statement.
In the end of the day, I know that some of the influencers are providing a YouTube video where they pretend to be a trader. Yeah. And then they trade on a demo account.
Can you give me some names?
I'm not going to do that. I can do it, but then we do it after the show.
Okay.
I think it's a narrative for them to lure you into their affiliate so they make money out of you. Yeah. They don't care about you. Yeah. That's the whole point.
True. There's many in Turkey as well, in every country, because we're influencers as well. I mean, I work with an exchange also, but what we do, I'm just trying to justify myself here. What we do as a company is different than what influencers do. Yeah. So influencers that you don't know his face, you don't know his name, you don't know where he's from. It's just this guy who's just making money. You don't even know who he is, right? Where companies, I think, like us, we work with exchanges in order to make all this happen for the people, all the activities and all the education, training. Talking of which, you've got a company setting. Yeah. You're setting up a new company, right? Can we talk about that a little?
The company is called 8 Global, and we're going to swap towards a new name because we can't keep our name.
You don't got the rights.
No, we've got a legal issue with that, so that's
just change the name, man.
Yeah, but that's costing a lot more time and effort than you wish. Yeah. So it's going to swap to a different name. I think in 2 weeks from now, which is
you're looking at the
my partner.
So what is it going to be?
MN Trading is going to be.
Trading.
MN.
MN Trading. Okay. MN Trading. Very creative.
Well, I mean, the first critic we had with the original name was, yeah, we don't know, is it you behind it or...
Yeah.
Now it's very, like you
It's
yourself,
very specific, yeah.
your company is also named like
Steve
yourself.
Group, yeah. It's like
go.
Steve the Bitcoin, Steve Group.
Yeah.
Steve the Bitcoin is actually a sub-brand in the Steve Group.
Yeah, but
it's
all
the main
Steve.
brand. Yeah, it's all Steve. You had the coffee. Hey, tell me about the coffee.
The coffee is good. I mean, I really like it.
Okay, cool.
It's strong, but I like it.
Do you think I should sell that in the market?
I think you should, yeah. Through crypto.
No, I've got too many businesses to do with that. Sorry, I go.
But I mean, about the company, I think what we want to establish is an all-round ecosystem where beginners, intermediate and advanced traders can go to and grow from there. Whether it's a community or whether you want to become educated or whether you want to join us as a traders and trade for our clients, it's up to you. So
you're actually going to have traders trading for your clients?
Yep.
So like portfolio management?
Like a prop firm and stuff. Yeah. That's what we're currently trying to build, but then you've got the regulation issues in the Netherlands, which is taking a long time.
Yes.
And on the other hand, I think if you want to start with the ecosystem, you need to build courses.
Yeah.
And yes, people will say you have to pay for a course, but we put a lot of time and effort in it, and you get value out of it. So we are providing a few all-round courses. We are going to launch them quite soon, including Turkish subtitles. So that's
what I was going to say. Is it in English or is it just...
Yeah, I don't speak Turkish.
No, but is it... Are you going to be dubbing it or
it's going to be subtitles, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the first language you want to do is Turkish.
Oh, fantastic. Because the market here is crazy.
Yeah, it's a big community. And I think that what we just discussed, when people are joining crypto markets, I think they need to be educated.
Yeah.
But when I started, most of the content you will be seeing, you can't say whether it's real content and whether it's true and you can use it because you don't have the experience. So along the way, you learn from your mistakes. And what we want to do, that in that first part, we provide you the content you need so you are not making all those mistakes.
Okay, that's cool.
I think that's the first essential part when it comes to trading. So yeah, we want to be that all-round ecosystem.
Okay.
That's
so do you actually, are you going to be live trading and teaching like tutorial or something? Or is it just like videos with, have you heard about Steve Academy?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you told me.
Okay. So, but have you like actually?
Yeah, I saw the videos as well, and it's kind of similar in a way that we want to teach people about trading.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, you can get loads of free content.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is to make it unique, so our own version.
That's
out of
exactly my point. So what you're doing is actually physically actually showing how to trade, and with the experience also, because as you said, there's so many videos out there. There's so many things, but coming from you. With experience, and you've been 6 years, you said, in the market, and you know the ups and downs and everything. So people are looking for that actually. People are looking for what you would do in that sort of situation, and where would you trade, and where would you buy, or where would you sell, and you're going to show all this in your...
Yeah, and ultimately I've been thinking about the course for the past 2 years, but I never felt like I wanted to do it, and now I start to understand why, because time wasn't right yet. I wasn't there yet to make something like this so I can actually provide value. Because if I'm too early with this, then it's just going to be a standard course. And then it's not unique.
You're doing it actually the Dutch way. You're guaranteeing it. Yeah, it's all guaranteed. It's all planned. It's all. In the Turkish way is a bit more like, oh, I'm in the industry now. Let's do it. Come on. You know,
no, I've been doing it the Turkish way.
But
my partner is now in the company. Now it's going to be Dutch.
Ah, okay. So you always need someone to like.
Okay. Otherwise,
because traders are like we're not like normal people, right? I'm not calling myself a trader, but traders don't live a standard normal life, right? Because
you wish you want to, though.
Yeah, you do, and ultimately you will at the end when you have all the money. But it's a 24-hour, 7-day, 365-day industry. Talking of which, I wanted to ask you something. Do you think it should have a day off?
I mean...
For the sake of the traders, man. Like a Sunday off or something.
But the point is, you don't need to trade all the time.
You don't need to, but it's there.
It's there, and it's addictive.
Yeah, it is addictive.
On the other hand, if you look at the stock markets, they are closed at some times.
Yeah, Friday. And they
but then if you and the weekends, it's just...
Yeah.
But also during the weekdays, it's just a few hours it's off. But during those hours, you can get completely destroyed in your position.
Wrecked,
And I think that's unethical, because the retail traders are not having the ability to trade after hours. They do, but you have to pay a lot. So I think having a 24/7 market is the most open and transparent market out there. and it's up to you how you're going to navigate through it.
But then again, there's the downfalls of it with like all these projects and new tokens and new coins and new meme coins and cats and dogs and dragons and hamsters, Peppes. And so what do you, for example, meme coins, what's your thought on meme coins? I mean, I know you made money out of Pepe.
Yeah, but I'm just trading it. I mean, I would never invest into it.
I know, but the people who are not as experienced, they buy it from there. And now how long do they need to wait for that price to hit the peak again?
Sometimes it will never go back to that
It
level.
will, that's the problem.
I think that if you look at all those hypes, we've had DeFi in 2020. We've had NFTs in 2021.
Metaverse.
That came after. Gaming, metaverse. Now we've got meme coins. We've had AI.
Yeah.
And every time when there's hype on social media, who's going to jump into it? It's retail.
Yeah.
And what you actually should be doing is that once there's such a hype, just leave it. What you should be doing, I mentioned DeFi. DeFi has been around for a long time.
Yep.
Nobody starts to discuss it. Right now DEXs are getting a little bit more active, which is good. So instead of focusing on the hype, you should be focusing on what was the hype a few years ago. Because it goes in cycles.
Yeah, but in the next cycle, what sort of, which category do you think will like actually be the new star in the next cycle?
I think it will be DeFi though.
You think?
If the ecosystem has Bitcoin, Ether, and that's great. But if you really want to have a financial system, you need DeFi. Yeah. And now you see the first parts of it because CEXs are not really user friendly and people don't trust them anymore. Yeah. People want to have self custody. Yeah. And you can see the volume just skyrocketing on DEXs. Yeah. So it's getting there.
Which category of coins or tokens do you think? Like, you know, we said there's hypes. Yeah. I think the AI hype will maybe stamp on this circle. The AI, it's going to have this, because Elon Musk is talking about it. Some presidents are talking about AI. Even, you know, there's the elections in Turkey coming up and the people are talking about AI. They're talking about AI, like how to, you know, how can Turkey get into this stuff as well before anyone, you know? I think that might be the next hype. This is my opinion. I don't know what yours is.
AI is so difficult, but so big at the same time.
Yeah.
It's going to be disruptive for the entire world.
Yeah.
Let's just face reality. But I think, once again, the next cycle is probably going to be through a big crisis, which means that I think we are already facing a financial crisis. Yes. So what's going to be big then?
When you say we, in Turkey it's always like it's been a crisis for years.
The same, yeah.
So in Europe, I don't know what your crisis are.
I mean, everybody has a crisis nowadays. Course, so I think the comparable to a big, let's say, depression or recession or so, what's going to happen is what's already been happening in Turkey. The lira is crashing, so people are flying away to other assets. That will happen all over the world. So the fundamental layer of the next bull run is probably going to be Ether. Okay. Because the ecosystem needs to have Ethereum as a sort of internet layer where everything is built on top of. And then DeFi comes and CK rollups come and AI comes, etc. But I think if you talk about the next big bull run, it's going to be DeFi in my opinion, and NFTs and stuff.
And that's gonna you saying that might upset the Bitcoin maximalists, but you believe that this is an ecosystem and it needs all of these projects and coins and consensus protocols, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a maximalist.
Good for you. I'm not a maximalist, but it's all a part of one ecosystem. So we agree on that. I mean, when I first came out, my popularity came from Ethereum because I was trading Ethereum.
Your name Steve the Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, Steve the Bitcoin is the name, but I was trading Ethereum. I had Bitcoin to hold. I also started buying in 2017, but I opened my Twitter account in 2020. So
really?
Yeah, because I wasn't into the social media thing. I was just trading because it's my background. I studied finance and economics. So Ethereum is always there, a big player. It's the second in the market. It's, I think right now, right? Is it Tether or?
No, it's Ethereum.
Ethereum right now, yeah. So it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, then it goes so on and so forth. I think the Turkish people, there's nearly 10,000 projects, right? 10,000 coins or something like that. Should focus on the major altcoins if they're going to invest.
Yep.
Do you think the same, or do you think they should be searching for new projects and new upcoming things, or ICOs, or like, you know?
I mean, I understand why people are focusing on the smaller altcoins, because those will give you the lifestyle change, etc. However, if you want to invest properly, and if you do it in such a small altcoin, maybe one time you're lucky, but if you keep that strategy, you will lose it all too.
Yeah, true.
So that is the difference between short-term view, long-term view. If you start to invest into a conservative way, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the large ones, and you do it with a long-term perspective, maybe along the way the 100x will come along and those guys will beat you.
Yeah.
But 10, 20 years down the road, you'll be the one having the same life standard, just enjoying your life.
Yeah, Michael, 10, 20 years for Turkish people is
it's
like
a long time.
It's like a century in
but
European years. Yeah.
But that's the ultimate purpose of Bitcoin as well, which is to enable to have your life standard all your life, so you can actually plan your life instead of just going from paycheck to paycheck.
Like Michael Saylor says, I asked Michael Saylor, how long do you want to hold? He says, forever. And is there such a thing like buying an asset and holding it forever, or do you have to like turn it into profit at one point? What do you reckon?
I think holding forever is fine, but that means that you're holding a certain portion of Bitcoin forever.
Yeah,
that's fine. But along the way, you will have the cycles, and then you should ask yourself, how am I gonna navigate through that? You're probably not gonna time the top. You're not gonna time the bottom.
Never.
So what do? I rebalance my portfolio, which means I've got a certain percentage that I want to have in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins at all times. And every month, I'll just check and see what the balances are doing. So for instance, if I have 40% in Bitcoin and at some point it's going to 48 and altcoins are lower, I just reshuffle.
Okay.
And that erases, or it limits the amount of money you can make in a bull market, but it also defends you in terms of risk.
True.
And I think people are too much focused on the upper part, while if they are focusing on the risk, the rewards will be larger. So in that way, it's a very easy tool for yourself. And again, I think trading and investing should be simple.
Yeah.
So don't make it too complex for yourself, and just rebalance at all times. And then you're able to hold Bitcoin for the rest of your life, but you can rebalance and have certain amounts over
So
period.
you're saying that ultimately you can hold it, however, don't miss the opportunities to increase the amount you hold.
Yeah, or decrease at some times.
Yeah.
So for instance, within the crypto portfolio, I have Bitcoin, Ether, and some other altcoins, but I also have commodities. I also have cash, not the lira. And I've got stocks and real estate.
Yeah.
Which means that if my portfolio of commodities is going from 25% to 18% and my crypto is going up, I sell my crypto towards commodities to just avoid having excessive risks.
So you're doing on a multiple level you're trading. It's not only in crypto.
No.
So okay, if that's the case, here's a question, and this is my last question.
Sure.
And I want one straight answer.
Okay.
I give you $10,000.
All right.
You have 2 years. You gotta either buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or $10,000 worth of gold. Right now with the existing prices, which one would you choose?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy your time in Istanbul, and hope to see you again in Istanbul.
We will. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bugünkü konumuz Michael van der Pop'la çok keyifli bir sohbet gerçekleştirdik. Ya ben en azından çok keyif aldım. Kendisi de almıştır umarım. Bir dahaki Steve Talks'ta görüşmek üzere. Hoşçakalın. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Would you
buy
buy Bitcoin?